Mm. Mm.
It's gonna take him till 11 to clean up the barn anyway. So I said 11 to 12 is okay, but I don't know if we should tell him that starting at 12. Oh, but we wanna listen to the Jeffrey thing. Did we trade seats? Because this is it.
Okay.
Yeah, so welcome everyone to our meditation. This was the first Sunday. If you missed Kaisu's wonderful presentation on Ecodharma and bears and feeling weird, please find it on YouTube after this. It was a very stimulating program. And as we move toward our meditation, I do want to say that some of the, as meditators and also as creatives, as Kaisu has described, and just as human beings, and probably non-human beings too, we are always testing out really what makes us feel comfortable and what makes us feel uncomfortable and what makes us feel, when we get into what you call the sleepwalking state, we become dull. I think we know this if we observe our lives. Sometimes we just become dull. And everything is just kind of ho-hum and ordinary and kind of expectable and not very enlivening. And is this how we want to live? And one of the most famous scholars of religion at the University of Chicago, whose name I'm blanking on right now, is particularly famous for saying that in studying religion, but I would say in studying anything and in being alive, we should learn to make the familiar strange. And I think that's part of what you were talking about as your creative creativity is doing. And in this practice that we do that is familiar to many of you, and then I'll describe in a moment, we're doing something very, very simple. We watch our breath. We make a simple sound and melt our minds into that and just see how that is. And for a part of a mind, we can feel, well, that's not very interesting. It may seem, can easily become ho-hum. And we're looking to keep that spark of aliveness in ourselves as we do the practice. And if you are a practitioner, as I think most of you are, I think we all know how we move between, we move off the Goldilocks channel and also what is the middle way ideal, which is to be free from either, as it is in Buddhist hybrid English, we say either nihilism or eternalism. But what that means, as Kaisa was saying, is very important to understand these two extremes also in emotional terms. To be dead, to be bored, to be sleepwalking is certainly a form of nihilism. To be over agitated, overexcited, obsessed, to use Kaisu's word, is certainly a form of eternalism. We get so upset by what? The phone ringing at the wrong time, or somebody saying a wrong word to us, or giving us a wrong look, or some particular task that we have to do. And obsession is a good word, but what obsession also means is that we're feeling in that moment that this is all that ever has been. This is all that matters. This is the real thing. This is the only thing I can focus on right now. And I would offer to you that that is a form of eternalism. This is the balance that we are always seeking. Not to nothing, not to something is another way to put it. Reality, Longchenpa, for example, our great Dzogchen acolyte, often says that reality, well, it's not really anything, but it's also not nothing. And Wittgenstein said the same thing about speech. So we're on fertile territory here in terms of the kind of balance that we're looking for. Okay, so that's it. We can understand our practice as a exploration in our own, everyone is different. We tend toward different sides of this polarity, not only more, some more than another, some more towards the nihilistic side, some more towards the eternalistic side, the obsessive side, but all of us also, I think, move between all of them. And in fact, as the Dalai Lama once said to a friend of mine, that's how we find the middle, is by bumping up against these two extremes in our own experience. So if you find, as we do this practice, or as you get up from practice and are in life, that you are meandering toward the kind of deader zone, the sleep zone, you can just notice that. And then that noticing it makes it part of your practice. You're no longer asleep. You're noticing that you are asleep. That's already awake. Or noticing the obsessive quality that arises for me. It arises when I'm doing proofreading my proofs for my next book. And yeah, it induces a certain kind of obsessive, you got to find every letter that's wrong with the many, very focused, very squinty-eyed looking at the computer. I think that's the kind of obsession that maybe is familiar with you also. So, of course, a famous Buddhist way of talking about this balance, as Kaiso also kindly mentioned, is, hey, not too tight. That goes to the obsessive side. Not too loose. That goes to the sleepy side. How will we find the middle? And I think there's something very kind about the middle way. It also has this interesting aspect of the weird, the uncanny, and so forth. It's also profoundly, when one can be there, what's uncanny and weird is because it's so different from our ordinary way of being. That's true, and that's important to highlight. We become strangers to ourselves in a way, to our ordinary mind. What we're doing is quite strange. We're looking to be quite satisfied with just observing our breath. Balanced, not sleeping, not excited. There's also, as I know from Lama Namgyal's work in the Pali Canon, a wonderful term in Pali. For some reason, I know it in Pali and not in Sanskrit, piti, which is, am I right? Which is a sense of just being comfortable, in a kind of quiet way. And this is something that we often experience maybe walking in the woods. We might not call that deep meditation, but it's satisfying just looking at the trees, looking at the sky. People who like to knit or crochet or garden or do these very simple tasks, the mind grows quiet. And there's something fundamentally pleasing, pleasurable about that. And that is more how the middle way may seem to us when we are more acquainted with it. And it is also an arena of kindness. And it's also an arena in which, and maybe we can talk about this together in the first Sunday in August, guys, so what you think about this. It's also an arena in which these terrible, terrible binaries, human and animal, racial binaries, prejudice is really very much along the same model as the human animal binary. I often think it is the, what do you say, the starting point for all other kinds of prejudices, because it seems to be so deeply ingrained. But the middle, when the bears found that it was just right, it was just right. They were all friends. They ate together. Okay. So our way of finding balance through these practices, we're going to begin with some suggestions about how to sit. What you do with your body, what you do with your energy is very significant in life and in practice. And from that will flow an invitation to sitting in this way, this very specific way, to be present to your breath. Breath is life. Just be present to it. See how it is. See if you wander into depreciation of nihilism or appreciation in a balanced way. Of course, we all get distracted, so you just come back to your breath. Breath is always there for you to come back to. That's a great kindness. And then we'll introduce the sound, the simple sound, hum, hum. And that becomes then the focus of our attention. Some texts say, particularly in Dzogchen tradition, particularly I've heard this in the Bön Dzogchen tradition, that focusing on sound can be easier for some people or sometimes, or simply as an alternative to focusing on a felt sense object like your breath or a visual object. Sometimes one focuses on a letter or a stone or just something physically present in front of you. There are many practices for focusing the mind. So here in our session today, we balance orienting toward silent sitting with the breath, just feeling it, not thinking about it, if you please. Thoughts will come, of course, but our purpose is just to feel it. You don't have to theorize it. Feeling, sensing, direct experience is very important in finding the kind of balance that we're talking about, because thinking tends to lead to extremes, honestly, too much thinking. So we're trying to let go of that. And then we'll have the opportunity to see how it is to melt mind into sound and just allow that to be our experience. It's not complicated. So most briefly, when we sit, we can talk about 3 pillars. And the first one to emphasize is allowing yourself right now to sense into the actual experience of contact. You have an experience of contact with your seat. You don't have to theorize it. And the wonderful thing about allowing yourself to let go of thought enough just to sense that is it brings you directly into the present. Directly into the present moment. You can feel that you are supported by your seat. You can feel also, can help very much, at least in my own experience and others, to sense also that this support that is coming to you, that you can feel just by feeling the contact with your seat, where is that coming from? It comes to you really from the center of the earth, which is directly beneath you, which is a way to say that your support in this moment is deep. You have a strong support. for this practice for your whole life. You're always directly above the center of the earth. If this is new to you, I invite you to take some time with this first pillar for some minutes now and also during the week. It can be quite transformative. Sitting in this way, feeling settled in this way, much as a flower or tree rooted in the earth, rising up with the upper part of your body from your pelvis is very natural and allows you to appreciate also that you are profoundly supported. The second pillar is your own skeletal structure. So sometimes I find when I'm sitting, or especially at the computer, my shoulders are, it's like I have to work to stay upright, but I don't have to do anything. My skeletal structure will hold me and yours will hold you. It's very nice. We can invite our muscles to relax. The muscular apparatus need not be tense. Sometimes you may find that your fingers are clenched and you didn't even know it. Well, let them relax. Or that your shoulders are a little bit tight. Oh, maybe they'll relax just because of your kindly noticing the tension. You can't push away tension, but you can notice it with a kind sort of awareness. And sometimes that just invites relaxation. So that's the second pillar. What is the third? Third is the most subtle of all. In some ways, the most important of all. It's the inner and totally natural alignment from, for example, the center of your belly, the deep center of your belly. So 4 fingers down from your navel and 4 fingers in is a deep inner seat. We have the outer seat, but the inner seat in the body itself is this place, deep ground, deepest ground of the body. And this itself is also in alignment from the center of the earth to the center of your belly. You can think of it that way. And the natural alignment follows in alignment with your heart. So your heart is also supported. I like to emphasize this because emotions, those emotions of being too extreme, too dead, or too obsessed, is felt around the heart. If your heart can relax, perhaps feeling supported helps it relax. It's very soothing. And then this alignment continues through your throat, through your crown, and the apex of space. You are not just some small bead in the large universe. The alignment that runs through you also runs down through the center of this earth, even out the other side, if you like. Your crown and your whole alignment is alignment with the apex of space as well. The most important here is to feel it or just recognize it. It's in your body. So we sit in this way. It's meant to be relaxed, a relaxation into clarity. Perhaps your own personal Goldilocks zone for the moment. Just right, not too tight, not too loose. Just here, basically. Here. There's enough going on just to be here in the present moment. And being aware of your sensations, your contact with your seat, your experience of your breath. All of that is a direct line, a direct contact with the present moment, your experience in the present moment. That's what we're exploring. And of course, as you sit this way, supported by your seat, your skeletal structure, that fine natural alignment through the center of your body. Well, you're breathing, aren't you? The mind likes to pay attention to something. So pay attention to this sense, the experience of your breathing. Perhaps to start with, especially, pay attention to the in-breath. Where in your body and when do you start to feel it? Your nose, your chest, your belly. And then there's that moment of relaxation. You might like to notice how that feels. It's like a teaching on relaxation. Just before you, just naturally in your own timetable, you let go of your breath, don't you? Perhaps that's a moment of just right. You're letting go just when you want to. So let's watch our breath for a few minutes. I don't really mean watch, I mean feel, sense. Sense your breathing. That's all. If you get distracted, just come back. It'll still be there. And have your eyes closed if you like, but ideally, actually, they're just a little bit open. If you're very new to this practice, close them. You'll get used to it later. To have your eyes just a little bit open, but not attending to what is showing up in your visual field, attending, sensing your breath. If then you want to close your eyes, it's okay. If you tuck your chin in just a bit, that will help you feel a kind of pull along the length of your spine, meaning that the central channel in your body is straight and your breath goes even more smoothly. So chin tucked under just a bit. That's part of traditional advice. And still maintaining whatever quality of attention you presently have. Mix your mind with the sacred syllable hum. Two soundings of hum on one out breath at your own pace. Very importantly, you're invited to do this at your own pace. Hum is the sound of awakened mind, which simply means in the Buddhist tradition, the perfect just right zone, the middle way, not too tight, not too loose, completely aware of what is going on, neither indifferent to it nor obsessed with it. So we practice this with a simple sound, home, and sound it loud, don't be shy. And you're welcome to unmute, and we will hear a kind of cacophony, but actually I think it's very beautiful. Hear different people sounding at different times. Let us model it for you for one own, and then we'll sing together. Oh. As much as possible, feeling that your mind, the sound, and in a way your breath are all unified, all unified. So we'll do this. And your mind wanders, just bring it back. The sound will be there. The room will be full of sound. You have that to bring your attention back to, and specifically to your sound. Clear? Yeah. At your own rhythm. And again, feel the movement of your own breath. Just that. Yeah. So we take a pause here to reflect. And by the way, when we do this kind of attentional practice, it's actually recommended that we do it for short periods of time to keep it fresh. So I think there may be some people that we haven't seen before here, and I'd like to check in with you and with everyone how this practice was for you. Do you understand it? Do you have a question about it? Did something arise for you, an insight, a difficulty that we would be very happy to hear? And perhaps you have connections from what you heard with what you heard from Kaisu as well. So here's some space. Yeah. So how did it go? Some of you have been doing this for many years. This was a practice actually explicitly given me, I think many of you know, at my request from Asam Rinpoche. Asked him what would be a practice that we could share with people that would allow one to feel something rather quickly. And this was his practice, specifically the hung syllable, which really is therefore a transmission from him. It's a mantra by itself. So how was it for you? Especially maybe you're doing it for the first time, or you've been doing it for a long time and you've noticed something that has emerged. Anyone in the room at Dawn Mountain? There's I know, a microphone available to you.
I could say something. I noticed I've been doing this practice for many, many years, but very rarely I do it right after giving a talk or just doing something. So I highly recommend that because it refreshes everything. Because my mind wanted to analyze exactly what I just had done. And again, returning to the here and now. It's a very powerful practice actually when you have a hyperactive mind of and something has just happened. So this was a interesting practice for me.
Thank you. So was there a trajectory over which it sounds like noticed that your mind was different than it often is when you do this practice? And then
Oh
it sounds like something shifted over the course of even these few minutes. Is that
yeah,
right?
yeah. It took some like muscle work,
Yeah.
really.
What did you
uh,
do? What do you mean?
I'm because the poll was so powerful to just go back analyzing how the talk went in this case that I as as it were not with physical muscles but the meditation muscles that I've grown at this point like it took all of my power to pull me back into here and now and not to analyze let alone criticize because that started
Uh,
at
uh-huh.
so a real focus was needed to steer me back to this meditation.
What a wonderful narrative and journey. Really expressing what you were talking about earlier, the struggle. It can be, let's say, a journey. It can be weird. It can be a surprise to try to move into that zone of, more like just right. That's really lovely to
I
hear.
practiced really all of it, so I also felt really unreal most of the talk. So, like, what's happening? This is manifesting in my experience as
Uh,
I speak. So very rich.
can I ask you how you did it? How or what did you do when you noticed that you were, of course, thinking about your talk, and then you did something that you called some kind of inner musculature? What did you do? If you were trying to teach me how to do it, what would you tell me?
A couple of times I parked the criticism, the voice of like, ooh, I didn't say this, and that was an invitation to further analyze it. But you then your voice actually helped me to return to this moment because you kind of guided us in the beginning. So actually hearing the words of just return to the here, and then that was easier to follow than telling it to myself. So, but I did it a couple of times for myself as well, deciding, this criticism, I'm not going to park it. There's a parking lot for criticism, and I'm just gonna now drive or sit in my car on this spot, something like that.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Can do the reading. It's relevant to this.
Okay. Well, it is our custom to do a reading during this pause period, and Lama Namgyal notes that it's actually quite relevant. So we will do that, and there'll be another moment for you if you wish to say something, either about the reading or what Kaisi just said. Yeah.
See what is. This is number 57 and Comfortable with Uncertainty
Can you move over?
by Emma Chodun. Holding on to beliefs limits our experience of life. That doesn't mean that beliefs or opinions or ideas are a problem. It's the stubborn attitude of having to have things be a particular way, grasping onto your beliefs and opinions, that causes the problems. Using your belief system this way creates a situation in which you choose to be blind instead of being able to see, to be deaf instead of being able to hear, to be dead rather than alive, asleep rather than awake. I think he attended your talk, Kaiso. As people who want to live a good life, full, unrestricted, adventurous, real kind of life, there is concrete instruction we can follow. See what is. When you catch yourself grasping at beliefs or thoughts, just see what is. Without calling your belief right or wrong, acknowledge it. See it clearly without judgment and let it go. Coming back to the present moment, from now until the moment of your death, you could do this.
Wow. The stars were indeed very aligned. Yes, I'm curious what kind of sense, if any, this makes for you. You know, what Pema Chodron is talking about is really very much the same thing. It's really the heart of pretty much all of our practice, not getting overly involved in the things that we don't intend to attend to. Like Kaisu said, like she says, just see what is. What is you're breathing. Hey, notice that. It's part of your life. And we tend to ignore, we favor our minds over our experience very much. This is kind of sad. Actually, we will not find our just right spot in our minds alone. We need to have presence, especially conceptual mind. We need conceptual mind, as Pema Chodron says, as we hear through Kaisu's talk. Obviously, very interesting and compelling to hear the words that she describes. And then to try to make it our own experience and be aware of our own experience. That's what we're looking at to be able to do. Yeah. I can't see everybody who's here from here. If I were sitting in the room with you and notice, which I think I'm noticing, there's some people, maybe the first time or not too often before. We're very glad to see those of you who came back. Yeah, you. And yeah, welcome. Please feel very welcome. I'm sure the folks there are making you feel welcome. And we do appreciate your being here. So don't be too shy. Is there something you'd like to say? No.
Myself specifically?
No? Okay. Is there some movement? Okay. Yeah.
If anyone does want to say anything, speak a little much, you can actually hear it.
No? We can't tell from what we can see if somebody's about to speak or not. in the room or online?
Here.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Derek. No, it's my first time. So,
What's your name?
Derek,
Hi,
Derek.
Derek.
But yeah, it was a very nice experience. I haven't done a meditation with Noam before, so a first time to this temple or what we call it. But a couple
Temple
friends,
is good.
Paul and Tian, invited me, so you can see him right there very clearly.
Ah, Paul. Thank you, Paul, for bringing Derek. Glad you came.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. We will close and then you will have lunch. A very good lunch, I believe. So we'll do a short reprise of what we did before. It's reminding yourself of the 3 pillars. They're really simple. Contact with your seat. Feelings, allowing yourself, that means to feel settled. And the experience of settling, that's happening in the present. And then your body, your upper body rising strong, whether you're in a chair or on a cushion, just rising up and right away, and tuck your chin in, and right away you can be aware that, yeah, you have a skeletal structure holding you. And especially when you tuck your chin, perhaps can feel there's an alignment through the center of your body.
So there is a book going around in the room. What we do is we put names of individuals for whom we care to share our thoughts, our wishes. We dedicate the benefit of the virtue we have accumulated through our practice by reading their names at the end. So it can be humans, it can be other sentient beings, anyone you wish to
It can be yourself also, if you'd
benefit
like
for.
our good wishes sent to you, can include yourself. Okay, so the 3 pillars. And then gently, once you have a sense that you're a bit settled, bring your attention to your breathing and just feel it. Feel whatever you feel as you inhale. Wind comes in, energy comes in, descends through your body to some degree, perhaps all the way down to your belly, perhaps not, your chest. And then at the moment that just feels right to you, you exhale. So we'll do that for a few minutes. And with a sense that there has been something good and positive in our practice together. We've been kind, we've been gentle, we've explored our experience. May we and all benefit from this. And so we have a dedication, a four-line dedication, and then a lighting the lamp. And you'll see the words on the screen in the room and on your screen. Why not? You're coming, Shane?
Yes, I'm pulling it up right now. The book is still coming around currently, so I was waiting for them to finish passing it around.
Very good. By this good may I swiftly once become a great guru, lead all beings, everyone, to reach to that very ground. With all of you in mind, we light this lamp of clarity. May the glow of love, wisdom shine within us, everyone, till we all rise forth born in one enlightened mandala. And we dedicate the goodness of our practice to all living beings, human and non-human, throughout space, and also specifically today to those who are in our hearts. And is the list here?
I'll have the list in just a moment. They're still passing the book around. I'll
Very
have to get it typed into the chat, but I can give you some names that are from the online right now.
We can read these.
Okay, I'll start to read what we have. Vanessa for employment, Anna Sullivan, Rosa, Janet Palinka, Dawn Colley in the Bardo. What?
Megan.
Oh, Megan, struggling with stress and anxiety. Jonathan Hanley, Stephanie Cleary, Selena, our lamas, our sangha, all suffering beings. Linda in the Bardo, Roger in the Bardo, Jeffrey Hopkins in the Bardo. If you would like to unmute, our custom is now to send out our good energies to our future selves, to everybody in the circle with us, on or offline. And by the end of the sound, we're going to sound completely open sound. And as before, sound, breath, even light coming forth from your heart, as if a sound and light coming from your heart, if you'd like to feel it that way, and going out to everyone throughout space. That's our blessing. Yeah, again, thank you so much, everyone. Those of you who came newly, perhaps, I don't know with what feeling, but glad that you came. Those of you online, of course, Kaisu, how wonderful. Really stirring a lot of thoughts. I'm so happy that you've agreed to do this and that we get to see you again first Sunday in August. Our meditations continue. Sunday meditations, 11 to 12. Pretty much always do this meditation. And there'll be a reading and time for discussion and no lunch, I'm afraid, but some snacks. And, also a way for you guys to talk together. Thank you again, everyone. Are there any other announcements? Yes, please come to our Teaching Tuesdays. First and third Tuesday, 7 to 8:30 in the evening. Also recorded, if that's not convenient for you, you can listen to it at another time. We're exploring practices for being in the Goldilocks zone, we could say, to use our new vocabulary. Very simple practices, also giving you a context of the great teachers, of our own teachers who created the kind of curriculum, the kind of training that we are sharing with you over the years and over these weeks. Really, it's been very wonderful. You can also get the previous Tuesdays of this section if you would like. 7 to 8:30, it's free to members. And in any case, we don't want funds ever to prevent anyone from coming. Just email info@dawnmountain.org. You will get Jerry, and she will help you register.
We also have a welcome event. Is Emily there to remind us of the date of the welcome event?
Yes, she's currently moving some chairs around. I was going to say as well, the rest of the names I just put in the chat are the ones from the Book of Dedication.
Right, we'll read those.
Okay,
and
we'll
then
read them.
If you can get the date for the welcome event from Emily or Tammy.
I'll start here. Camachos, Andrew, Ben, Louie, Monica, Biatha, Tabi, Ira, Marla, Julia, Melissa, Brianna, Juneberg, family in Corpus Christi, Toby, Josh, Tammy, Alezzo, John in the Bardo, Monica in the Bardo, Deborah in the Bardo, Fran in the Bardo, loss, Bishop, Gigu, Diane, Diara, Gaza, Jennifer, Michael, Meadows, Silas, Halsey, Chantel, Freddie, and the whole of the Gulf Coast. Beryl, the bear, Beryl means bear, is coming for us, as I understand it, Monday morning. So may all in the wake of that bear be well. Yeah.
When is the welcome event? Shane?
Welcome event, Emily said it would be on the 9th.
What date?
The 9th of
Is it the
is September Sunday, so September the 8th.
Okay, so never mind. It would be September 8th.
September 8th.
September 8th, middle way, not the 7th, not the 9th, September
Yeah.
8th. And what time? It was 11 to, no, it's after this.
And one more fall announcement, or one more announcement for the
What
fall.
what time is the welcome event?
It's going to be after the Sunday meditation.
Wonderful. Thank you.
We also have one more event coming up from September 20th to 22nd, which is going to be our fall retreats. Just go ahead and shoot us an email if you're interested, and we'll be in contact with you.
Yes, that retreat is a practice that in a way is a different way. I made a note as you were talking, Kaisu, of staying with the trouble and actually feeding it and honoring it until it dissolves. It's a very powerful practice in the Tibetan tradition known as severance or je. And as Emily said, you can get more information about it. And yes, thank you everyone again for your presence. And we will look forward to seeing you when we can in the future.
Stay well, everyone. And
Be well, stay safe if you're in Texas
be
or
safe.
wherever you are, actually.
free of
Hi, Michael.
fires, free of
I don't
water.
think we've
Yeah.
talked before, so I want to
That's
say
Erin.
hi.
Hello, Erin.
Yes, Erin.
Hi.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank
Oh,
you.
I forgot. Hi. See you again. Ciao, everyone.
Bye.
Enjoy your lunch. Hey,
Is she gone?
But you did.